back to my Cringe book club, where we are going to be reading a book that might be one of the most dangerous books ever written. And it is called The Power of a Praying Wife. Chapter 1 summary is, if your husband is horrible to you, what did you do to deserve that? I'm kidding, but kind of not. So she starts off the chapter by talking about how if you are going to go on this journey, which, spoiler alert, we are going to go on a 30-day journey of praying for your husband, you have to do it with a pure heart. So you can't be praying to God and actually be angry at him. You have to be honest and go to God and say, listen, I am really angry, but I'm setting all of that aside, and you have to work on yourself. Because if you are angry or have resentment towards him while you are praying, you could sabotage your own prayer. So if he does not change, that is also your fault, because maybe you did not do it with a pure heart. So instead of saying and praying, Lord, change him, instead pray, Lord, change me. She says that having a pure heart is one of the hardest requirements of this prayer journey. And it is especially hard when you feel that your husband has sinned against you with unkindness, lack of respect, indifference, irresponsibility, infidelity, abandonment, cruelty, or abuse. But still, don't be mad, because God considers sins of unforgiveness, hatred, self-pity, lovelessness, and revenge to be just as bad as what he did. So if you do not forgive him and let go of your anger, you are just as bad as your abusive husband. And I was a little surprised by this. She actually does say that if you are in physical or emotional danger, that it is okay to remove yourself. And I was like, wow, okay, listen, that's good. But then she says, while you are separated, you should pray for your husband so that he receives the counseling that he needs so that you can get back together. So don't actually leave him for good, just if he's about to, you might want to separate for a couple weeks so that he can get his unaliving thoughts under control. She says the best thing you can do is to pray for your husband, because it will soften your heart towards him. And on top of that, we are called to pray for our enemies. So how much more should we pray for our husband? And now we're getting to the practical advice, where she tells us that nagging does not work. Do not do it. And she says that if her husband doesn't want to do something, he is not going to do it. And if you force him to do it, then she has noticed that the immediate family members will pay for that. In this chapter, she talks a lot about how to not be difficult and to just respect your husband and do what he says, because that is how God built marriage. And if you just followed it, things would be easier. And I was particularly shocked by one story that she told about how her husband, Michael, called her and said, hey, I want chicken for dinner, this one specific chicken dish that she would make. So she ran to the store because she needs to be a good wife and give him this exact meal that he wants. So she ends up making it. He comes home, he sees the chicken, and he says, actually, I don't want that, I want this other thing. She says that she cannot count the amount of times that Michael has demanded something for dinner, and then he comes home and decides that he wanted something else and asks her to remake it. Or he will say to make dinner, and then he will cancel, stay late at work, or just go out to eat with his coworkers. And she said that she has just learned that life is so much healthier if she readjusts her expectations. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about what's really important, which is you not being ugly. She points out that being attractive doesn't just happen. We need to constantly be asking ourselves, what am I doing to make myself attractive for my husband? Am I clean? Do I smell good? Do I exercise? And you just need to constantly be on your game, because he deserves better than you. So for the rest of the book, there is going to be a little lesson for each chapter and then a prayer. So here are some of the highlights of this prayer. Lord, help me to be a good wife. I fully realize that I do not have what it takes to be one without your help. Make me my husband's helpmate, companion, champion, friend, and support. Teach me how to take care of myself and stay attractive to him. To finish off this prayer strong, give my husband a new wife and let it be me. And it's honestly not funny. I know I'm joking around a lot, but this is some truly terrible stuff. And imagine what it would be like to be in an abusive marriage and to read this and be told that if you just change you, you can stop his abuse. So follow along. I am going to get into chapter 2 next.